All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to you, brothers to the four corners of the earth, preaching this word and also laboring in this word in truth, love, and sincerity. And may blessings fall upon the houses that are 1/3. In today's quick lesson, I want to deal with the significance of the number 12, okay? And how it all came about was through the Spirit. I was just reading and meditating in the Word. And I just happened to stumble past two scriptures dealing with, the number 12, and the significance of the scripture that it was speaking on, how the number 12 is a spiritual reference for the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Okay, so without further ado, I want to get into the lesson. I'll start at the book of Genesis 35, verse 21. It says, "And Israel journeyed and spread his tent beyond the tower of Adar. And it came to pass when Israel dwelt in the land that Reuben went and lay with Bela of Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. Verse 23, the sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad, and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padan Aram. Okay, so this is before it goes into before Jacob gives up the spirit, and it just named his 12 sons. All right, now when you go into a little bit of the history, dealing with these 12 that I just mentioned, when you go to Revelation, the 7th chapter, you would notice that Dan is not mentioned in there. Okay, and Dan is actually replaced. Okay, now we know that going further in the history, when you go to the book of Genesis, the 49th chapter, right? Let's touch on it very briefly. No, matter of fact, Genesis, the 46th chapter, verse. Joseph, the brother Joseph had 2 sons. Okay, right here, Genesis 46, verse 20, it says, "And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim." Okay, so we know Joseph had 2 sons, was Manasseh and Ephraim. Okay, Ephraim being the so-called Puerto Ricans today, and Manasseh being the so-called Cubans today, who goes back to Negroid or an Indian descent. All right. Let's go up about 2 scriptures. The book of Genesis 48, verse 20. And it says, start at verse 20, because it's dealing with his father Jacob blessing, and he's going to bless, Joseph's sons. All right. Genesis 48, verse 17, it says, "And when Joseph saw," I'll start at verse, matter of fact, let's start at verse 11, okay? It says, "And Israel said unto Joseph, I have not thought to see thy face, and lo, the Most High have showed me also thy seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them, both Ephraim in his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near to him," right? And when it says Israel, it's talking about the father Jacob, Joseph's father Jacob, okay? Jacob's name got later changed to Israel once he wrestled and overpowered with the angel. Okay, verse 14, "And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, the Most High, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the Most High, which fed me all my life long unto this day, and an angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them. Okay, this is how it came in, and it says, in the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. Right? Because if you know anything, part of our culture, the first person that was supposed to get the blessing was your firstborn child. Okay, but this is how the Spirit had it work dealing with this. It says, and his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. And he blessed them that day, saying, and thee shall Israel bless, saying, the Most High make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. Okay. And that's the point on that, So, a lot of people, they wonder why, when the name, like, when you're dealing with the name of, believe it, I forget exactly where it is. It might be in the book of Revelation when it says, let's see. When it says, forget the particular area where it says, just Joseph, or it's in Ezekiel 37, when it just mentions Joseph, it's speaking of Ephraim and Manasseh. Okay, if you was ever wondering what that meant, okay, it's speaking of Ephraim and Manasseh, in the name of Joseph. See right here, Ezekiel 37 verse 19, it says, saying to them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of his fellows, and I will put them with them, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. This is talking about all of us, the 12 tribes coming together collectively. Okay, and because we was once split, being two tribes. Okay, split, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom split. You know that history going back into Rehoboam and Jeroboam. Okay, King Solomon's son Rehoboam had the Southern Kingdom, and Jeroboam had the Northern tribes. All right, you can go back to that history yourself. Okay, so let's just get further on with the lesson. Lord willing, I hope this was edifying and all, makes sense coming together. So dealing with this number 12 and significance as well. Let's get one more. Genesis 42, verse 13. It says, and they said, thy servants are 12 brethren. Let's see, right. And they said, thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man, in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, right? They talk about Jacob, and one is not. And they were speaking of Joseph, but they didn't know that the person they were speaking to was their brother Joseph. Okay? And you can go into the history and get some understanding of what all took place, how Joseph had the dream, and the brothers got, and that's another one dealing with the significance of 12, right? How Joseph had the dream, and Joseph, got mad, right? And, his brothers got mad and they sold him into slavery, Let's see if I can pull it up real fast, because I didn't even think about that one. And there's many, many that can be brought out dealing with this. I believe it will be, let's see. I forget how it will be mentioned. Okay. So, but continuing on. All right. Let's go to the book of Exodus. Verse 4. Right, and if you're wondering about Dan, okay, the tribe of Dan, we'll see, everything that took place with the tribe of Dan. We'll know all that information in the kingdom. But what we do know is Dan is not mentioned in Revelation, the 7th chapter, dealing with, 12,000 from each tribe being sealed. Dan is not nowhere in there. Okay. So Exodus, and I just wanted to say that before I continue on. So Exodus 24 verse 4 says, "And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning and builded an altar unto the hill, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people. And they said, all that the Lord hath said, we will do it and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord had made with you concerning all these words." So, everything was sealed with that blood covenant. Okay, between us and the Lord. All right. But you see, was what? He built the altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. Let's get another one. Let's go to the book of Exodus, 28th chapter, 28 verse 21. Right, and let's read it. We'll start a little bit at the top. It says, verse 1, it says, "And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother for the glory and for beauty. And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I filled with the spirit of wisdom." Right? You want to come in here? Huh? Slocky, hold on. Slovakia. Where was that? Verse 3 again, it says, "And also speaking to all that are wise-hearted, whom I filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office." Okay, so then it goes into, the different things on how it's about to be made, the colors, and, the precious stones and things like that they're going to use, right? Let's jump down to the point a little bit, right? Verse 21, it says, "And the stone shall be with the names of the children of Israel," right? 12, according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, every one with his name shall they be according to the 12 tribes. You see? So, now you're starting to see a little bit of the importance of, the number 12, and also symbolically, symbolizing the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. Let's go to the book of Numbers 1. Okay. This is spiritual in itself, this number. Numbers 1, verse 44. It says, start at verse 44. It says, "These are those that were numbered with Moses and Aaron, number and the princes of Israel, being 12 men, each one was for the house of his fathers, right? So were all those that were numbered of the children of Israel by the house of their fathers, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth in war. Okay, so dealing with that, they was using 12 men from each one of the house of their fathers. All right. Let's see just a little bit anymore. I wanted to get on that. No, that's it. Okay. And as you know, as the scriptures say, when you go down to Numbers, the first chapter, the 18th verse, your lineage goes back to who you are by the seed of your father. Okay, not your mother. All right. Because even dealing with Jacob, our forefather Jacob, all those different women that he dealt with, they weren't Israelites. Okay, they were women from other nations. You see? These women were women from other nations, and he brought forth children out of those women, which they became Israelites because of him and his seed, And the only Israelite woman at that time, I believe, was his daughter Dinah. Okay, Dinah was the only Israelite woman at that time. Okay, as far as Jacob having his daughter Dinah, So let's go to Numbers, the 17th chapter. The book of Numbers 17, verse. We'll start at verse 1. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and take every one of them a rod according to the house of their fathers. Of all their princes according to the house of their fathers, 12 rods. Write thou every man's name upon his rod. And thou shalt write Aaron's name upon the rod of Levi, for one rod should be for the head of the house of their fathers. And thou shalt lay them up in the tabernacle of the congregation before the testimony, where I will meet with you. And it shall come to pass that the man's rod whom I shall choose shall blossom, and I will make to cease from me the murmurings of the children of Israel, whereby they murmur against you. And Moses spake to the children of Israel, and every one of their princes gave him a rod apiece, for each prince according to their father's houses, even 12 rods, and the rod of Aaron's was among their rods. And Moses laid up the rods before the Lord in the tabernacle of witness. And it came to pass that on the morrow Moses went into the tabernacle of witness, and behold, the rod of Aaron for the house of Levi was budded, and brought forth buds, and bloomed, and blossomed, and yielded almonds. And Moses brought out of the rods from before the Lord unto the children of Israel, and they looked, and took every man his rod. And the Lord said unto Moses, Bring Aaron's rod again, before the testimony to be kept for a token against the rebels. And thou shalt quite take away their murmurings from me, that they die not. Okay. So even when you go into this chapter and go into the next chapter, you start to understand that, how the Lord was dealing with, Levi, the priesthood, on another level, as being that rod that, bloomed and blossomed. Okay. Just as it says here, it says, verse 1, it says in Numbers 18, verse 1, it says, And the Lord said unto Aaron, Thou and thy sons in thy father's house with thee shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary, and thou and thy sons with thee shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood. And thy brethren also of the tribe of Levi, the tribe of the father, bring thou with thee, that they may be joined unto thee and minister unto thee. But thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness, and they shall keep thy charge and the charge of the tabernacle only. And they shall not come nigh, the vessels of the sanctuary and the altar, that neither they nor ye also die. And they shall be joined unto thee, and keep the charge of the tabernacle of the congregation. For all the service of the tabernacle and a stranger shall not come nigh unto you. And ye shall keep the charge of the sanctuary and the charge of the altar, that there be no wrath any more upon the children of Israel. And behold, I have taken your brethren the Levites from among the children of Israel to you, that they are given as a gift for the Lord, to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. You see? So that was the job of the priesthood. Okay? That was the office of the priesthood, you know. And you read down of the different things that they had to do. Okay? But still going into the importance of, dealing with what? Those 12 rods. All right? Now let's go to the book of Joshua, the 4th chapter. And this is John. Let's go to Joshua. Let's see, Slakius. Right. Joshua 4 verse 1, it says, "And it came to pass when all the people were clean, passed over Jordan, that the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, Take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe of man, and commend ye them, saying, Take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place where ye shall lodge this night. And Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel, out of every tribe of man. And Joshua said unto them, Pass over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of Jordan, and take ye of every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according unto the number of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel." You see? That this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in the time to come, saying, What mean ye by these stones? Then ye shall answer them, that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed over Jordan, the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. And the children of Israel did so as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of Jordan, as the Lord spake unto Joshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them over with them into the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. Okay, so you see, it was according to the 12 tribes of Israel, and they picked up what? The 12 stones. Okay, what else? There's so many you can touch on, so I just, wanted to get a few through the spirit. Yahushua even sent out 12 disciples, right? Matthew 10 verse 5, it says these 12, Salakia, these 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter you not, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Right? Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely have you received, freely give. Okay? But Yahushua sent out the 12. Okay? To speak to who? The 12 tribes of the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay? Let's go even to the point where Yahushua, right? Yahushua, what happened with him at age 12, right? Luke 2 verse 41, it says, Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover, and when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days, as they returned, the child Yahushua tarried behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintance. And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wish ye not know that I must be about my father's business? And they understood not the saying which he spake unto them. You see? But the point is, at this point of his age, at 12, he was able to, deal with, the people in the temple. You see? speaking, listening, and asking them questions and things like that, to the point where they was like, wow, this young child has a very what's the word I want to use? His understanding is far than what we would think of a 12-year-old to have. Why? Because he was the son of the Most High. Okay, that's why it says he must be about his father's business, because Yahushua came not to do his will, but he came to do what instead of his father. Let's deal with I want to put in something real quick. I forgot about it, but I just thought of it. Still with the book of here we go, right? Let's go to the book of Luke. Book of Luke 22 verse 27. It says, "For whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat, or he that serveth? Is not he that sitteth at meat? But I am among you as he that serveth. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father have appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit upon thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel." You see? So, they in particular are going to have this position of sitting on the thrones and judging the 12 tribes of Israel. You see? And this goes into let's see. Because I believe one of them in particular asked what was the reward or something like that. Okay. And the Lord was explaining to him that they was that they were going to get many things. Let's see. Maybe in Slovakia. That's when Yahushua said he can call 12 legions down. I believe it's right here. Okay, yeah, it was Peter. So Matthew 19 verse 27 says, Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have thereafter? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that they which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, right? You shall also sit upon the 12 tribes, sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. You see, you're going to have a high position, right? And everyone that have forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. You see? So there's a reward, Yahushua was basically saying, look, there's a reward. Peter was asking, and Yahushua told him, everything that you've forsaken, you're gonna be restored, man. And not only that, you're gonna be sitting on the 12 on the thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. See? And slack if I made this lesson too long, but last but not least, let's go to the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter. Let's deal with the 4th verse. It says, And I heard a number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh was sealed 12,000. Slakia. It says, the tribe of Simeon was still 12,000. The tribe of Levi was still 12,000. Another tribe of Issachar was still 12,000. Another tribe of Zebulon, still 12,000. Another tribe of Joseph were still 12,000. And the tribe of Benjamin were still 12,000. Okay? So as you see here, these are children, the numbers that were sealed. Okay? And you see Dan is nowhere in here. Okay? But you see who you see. You see Judah. You see Reuben. You see Gad. You see Asher. You see Naphtali. You see Manasseh. You see Simeon. You see Levi. You see Issachar. You see Zebulun. You see Benjamin. And you see Joseph. Okay? And like we mentioned before, who does Joseph also will be mentioned as this would be Ephraim. Okay, as you see. All right. So you see the 12 being mentioned here. Okay, 12 times 12, 144, baby. All right. And it says, and after this, a great multitude, and lo, a great multitude. And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all the nations and kindreds, and people and tongues stood before the throne, and for the Lamb clothed with the white robes, and their palm in their hands. And these are speaking of Israelites. These are Israelites that were what? Scattered amongst all the different nations. They may take, when the look of these other nations, may speak the tongues of these other nations. Okay, this is what this makes. This great multitude is speaking of just Israelites, okay? That's all right? So, just wanted to go into this quick lesson on dealing with the significance, of the number 12. There's just various different scriptures that, deal with this number 12, and it's always going back to, a spiritual and a symbolic way of, dealing with the children of Israel, as certain scriptures that are brought out. How it says, 12 of a certain item according to the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted to do a lesson on that as it, came on my spirit, Let's see. I want to bring up one more thing. Right. So yeah, that's the point. Okay, so Lord, I hope this is the next. Instead of finding it next time, I want to say shalom.